Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Jen Ah. Thanks for joining us on 7 at 7. Breaking this evening in your top stories, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. Metro Police say they've identified the boy's body found near the Mountain Springs trailhead on May 28th between Las Vegas and Pahrump. They're reporting that DNA evidence has identified the victim as 7-year-old Liam Husted, who lived in San Jose, California. He was last seen with his mother, 35-year-old Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, in a 2007 dark blue Dodge Caliber.
They left San Jose on the 24th of May. We can place them in the area of Laguna Beach on the afternoon of the 26th of May. Later that afternoon, we know the vehicle was in the area of Victorville, California.
Liam Husted's body was found 2 days later. Police have an arrest warrant out for his mother, Samantha Rodriguez, and are continuing to ask for the public's help. In other top stories, some are wondering why Terminal 3 at McCarran International Airport remains closed to traffic. Alan Altman says as a commercial pilot who flies out of McCarran, he's noticed gate delays on a daily basis, referring to the E-gates in Terminal 3, as those 14 gates have been closed since July. He thinks it should be reopened with the rising number of air travelers. However, the airport spokesperson says a key factor in the continued closure is lack of international travelers. And speaking of the airport, just a few hours ago, we also heard from TSA and airport officials announcing some upgrades to its security technology. This includes a new identification system for passengers and a body scanner that works with your hands by your sides. It's all part of Innovation Checkpoint, where security tech is tested and evaluated in a live setting.
I would tell you the crown jewel of test sites for TSA and for the future of aviation security is right behind me. This is absolutely the most superb and one of a kind, the only one in the country that has this kind of technology.
This unveiling comes just before the return of business travel for conventions. Now to your business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. Governor Steve Sisolak signed a bill that would steer hundreds of millions of dollars to Nevada education. Review-Journal's Renee Summerhour has more. Good evening, Renee.
Good evening, Jen. The bill is AB 495 and it rewrites laws for taxing the state's mining industry. The bill got a 2/3 majority in both houses of the legislature, with 2 Republicans voting with the Democrats in the assembly to reach this critical threshold. He also signed a number of other bills that deal with school infrastructure, mental health, and education.
This bill does a lot. First, it helps create jobs. It helps us build more and repair more schools, invest the money where it's desperately needed. I'm so glad to sign this legislation so that we can all remain laser focused on making sure our students are moving ahead and thriving.
AB 495 was the result of a late session compromise that saw the Clark County Education Association pull 2 tax incentives off the 2022 ballot. Jen?
In your weather, sponsored by 1 Hour Air. No matter the season, no matter the reason, 1 Hour is here for you. Finally, some cooler temps ahead of us. Looking ahead to tonight, we're getting down to the mid-70s with some strong winds coming through. And we have a red flag warning now until Wednesday instead of excessive heat warnings. So watch out for strong gusts. Highs this week are sticking to the 90s with mostly clear skies, though we will get some cloud coverage on Wednesday. Then things start to heat back up this weekend. In your health news, sponsored by 4M Dental, love your smile again. The FDA has reportedly approved an Alzheimer's drug for the first time in nearly 20 years, despite being panned by experts. They say the drug developed by Biogen did not reverse mental decline, only slowing it in one study. However, U.S. regulators say this treatment can likely treat the underlying disease rather than manage symptoms like anxiety and insomnia. In your entertainment news, sponsored by DiscoverYourNevada.com, brought to you by Travel Nevada. Looks like Cirque du Soleil should officially be 100% back by October. Tickets are selling at lightning speeds as more shows return over the summer. Plus, in other entertainment news, Las Vegas-based handicapper Kelly Stewart has been fired from ESPN for using anti-gay slurs on Twitter back in 2012. She's since apologized, saying it was in reaction to online attacks against her.
Here's the latest in sports. Golden Knights head coach Pete DeBoer knows the series against Colorado isn't over yet, but he says he is proud of his team's resiliency for being able to fight back after a 7-1 blowout in the opening game.
I think the mental toughness of this group, as I've seen it all year. We've played through injuries, we've played through COVID like everybody else has. But when you play Colorado late in the season with 3 men short and play one of your best games of the year, that's a testament to resiliency and character. And then, losing game 1 the way we did here, that's a test. These guys rise to the occasion every time.
Sports betting sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. The Golden Knights Avalanche NHL second round playoff series is now a best of 3 affair after the Knights knotted things at 2 games apiece with Sunday's 5-1 win. Colorado is a -145 favorite at the Westgate Sportsbook to win the series, and the Knights are +125 to advance to the Stanley Cup semifinals. The numbers are essentially the same for Game 5 on Tuesday in Denver, where the Avs are -145 and the Knights are +132. The total is 5.5.
In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Get Healthy, Clark County, honoring local athletes. The Raiders hosted a high school flag football all-star game this weekend at Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon.
Women's sports and flag football has grown over the years, because before it wasn't as big, there wasn't a lot of press around it, but now, today, we got the Raiders out here hosting our all-star game, so it's really cool to see how far it's grown.
The event also featured a flag football combine and clinic for the younger players. And we want to introduce Major Sarah Spy, the first female flight instructor pilot for the Nevada Air National Guard. She says it was always her dream to be a pilot, and now she gets to set a first in a male-dominated field. Spy saying, quote, "It's kind of mind-blowing that there's still firsts to be had in women in aviation, but I got one." Thank you for watching 7 at 7. If you have Amazon Fire TV, just search Review Journal to download our channel. Watch Las Vegas breaking news streaming live on your OTT device. We'll see you back here tomorrow for 7 at 7. Good night.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.